Om Shri Ganesh Venkateshaya Namaha.
This is Krishna Sagar from Saga Square channel.
After leaving from home, our first stop was at Shell petrol pump. Today's diesel price is at 81 rupees 30 paise. The second stop was for breakfast at a restaurant nearby Devanahalli.
After leaving home with the diesel in the stop at the restaurant for breakfast, we are now actually proceeding towards Sri Salem. As for everyone on the road, the fear of accidents are unavoidable. The fear of accident struck us too when we saw an accident on the route. But with prayers at heart for Lord Shiva and Ganesh, we proceeded. As you all know, the distance between Bangalore to Sri Salem is approx 550 kilometers. The entire journey might consume around 14 to 15 hours with a stop for breakfast, lunch and snacks. I cannot shoot the entire journey, but still I will put some of the highlights of the journey which you might like. As like Bandipur, en route to Sri Salem from Bangalore, there is a tiger reserve which is called Nagarjuna Sagar Tiger Reserve. We have stopped for the second refueling. Here, the hill that you see are the ghats of the Sri Salem, the ghats that start from Dornala. This is the arch at Dornala, a small city before Sri Salem. This is the actual start point from where ghats of Sri Salem starts. As you can see the signboard, Sri Salem Devasthanam welcomes you. Actual temple limits starts here. Our first stop after reaching Sri Salem was at Sakshi Ganapati temple. Here, Ganapati is said to have been maintaining a track record of who comes and who goes. We reached Sri Salem approx 7:30 p.m. as one of our friend has already booked guest house at Mallikarjun Sadan. We are proceeding there now, and once we get freshened up, we will go have a darshan. Inside the Sri Salem temple, we have Sri Mallikarjuna, Ruddha Mallikarjuna, Raja Rajeshwara Swami, Raja Rajeshwari, Sanagala Basavanna, Uma Maheshwara, and Brahmarambika inside the Sri Salem temple. We came back to the Mallikarjun Sadan guest house after darshan, had dinner in a nearby restaurant and said goodnight for the day. Day 2. Now we have already taken morning darshan and we are checking out of the guest house. Before that, with these banner, you can get details on pujas, sevas and much more about the temple. There is a call center number also given which you can get it by pausing the video, and with which you can get more details on the temple if you require. We have started from the guest house to go towards the car parking. En route, let's learn some interesting facts about Sri Salem. According to Skanda Purana, Parvata, the son of Silada Maharshi, has received a boon from Lord Shiva, and with that boon, he took a shape of a big hill on which Lord Shiva has resided as Jyotirling. With Shiva, all other gods followed him on to Sri Salem. With reference to this same Skanda Purana, goddess Parvati once took a form of a Brahmara, a honeybee form, to kill the demon named Arunasura, and later she manifested here as Brahmarambika. Mallikarjun being one of the Jyotirlings out of the 12 Jyotirlings, and Brahmarambika being a Shakti Peeth out of 18 Shakti Peeths. Here is the in the entire universe, a unique place where Shiva Shakti Samagam has happened. Lord Shiva is here as a Jyotirling and Goddess Parvati in her Shakti Peeth roop. There have been many devotees of Sri Saila Mallikarjun and Goddess Brahmarambika, but the most famous and most important ones are Akka Mahadevi and Hemareddy Mallamma. We are now at the free entry viewpoint. There are many different entries further in the queue. This is another entry with Shigra and Ati Shigra Darshan tickets. Further just ahead you will find ticket counter where you can take tickets for any kind of darshan you want to take. Just into the ticket counter there is an information and donation counter where you can get all information. Sri Saila Mallikarjun temple is a huge temple complex where there are Gopura Dwaras on each direction, and the eastern Gopura Dwara is the main entrance, that is the Mahadwara. You are seeing the northern Gopura Dwara from inside the southern Gopura Dwara where we are standing right now. The compound has been built with huge carved stone blocks. These carvings are very beautiful and very nice to see. Now you are seeing the golden Vimana Gopura above the sanctum sanctorium of Goddess Brahmarambika. Here, inside the temple, the deities are placed or present in a straight line from east to west. In the east, Lord Mallikarjuna, and behind him in the west of the straight line, Goddess Brahmarambika is present. With the temples of Mallikarjuna and Brahmarambika, there are other small temples, namely with the Mallikarjuna, Rajarajeshwara temple, Rajarajeshwari temple, Basavanna, Uma Maheshwara Swami temple, Sahasralingeshwara Swami, Ardhanarishwara Swami, Veerabhadra temple, Pandava Pratishtita temple and Navabrahma temples are also present inside the temple complex of Sri Sailam. This is the stage for Kalaradhana, a kind of musical or art service to God which is done daily at Sri Sailam. In this wide angle frame, you can see north, west and south Gopura Dwaras of the temple. You can take the prasad from the counter which is in front of you as soon as you exit the temple complex. Now we are exiting Sri Sailam, but as we had reached Sri Sailam very late yesterday night, we have not been able to see the interesting things and points from Sakshi Ganapati temple to Sri Sailam temple. We are showing you those things now. Yesterday night, as it was very late, we could not show you the Sakshi Ganapati temple neatly. Now let's see Sakshi Ganapati temple from outside and inside and pray Sakshi Ganapati for keeping a track of us visiting Sri Sailam. After Sakshi Ganapati temple, we are now proceeding towards Sikaram, a temple of Shikareshwar. Speciality of the Shikaram is that above this temple there is a Nandi on a big stone wall which rotates, and it's said by looking between its ear you can see the Vimana Gopura of Mallikarjun temple, which is more than a few kilometers from here. After visiting all the deities in Sri Sailam, we are proceeding towards Mahanandi and later to Yaganti.
Continue for 126 kilometers.
Now it's 5:10 p.m. and we have reached Mahanandi. Let's go inside. I'm not sure they will allow the cameras to take inside, but till where we can shoot, we will shoot and show you here. Mahanandi is one among the other Navanandis: Sivanandi, Vinayakanandi, Somanandi, Parthamanandi, Garudanandi, Suryanandi, Krishnanandi, and Naganandi, which are all within a radius of around 80 to 100 kilometers from Mahanandi. There is a camera keeping counter at the entrance. We will keep the cameras now and we will see you once we come out. Mahanandi is an excellent place for spirituality. Just outside the main temple, there is a park where a huge Nandi statue is built, which is very nice to see. You can see once you come out. We reached Yaganti very late. Now we have reached here in Yaganti, but we found that the temple is closed. But a good security person at the gate, after finding that we are not staying back and we are proceeding now itself to Bangalore, opened the main door gate and let us go inside to do the darshan. Even though we could not see Uma Maheshwara Swami as we reached here very late, we got a chance to see the great Nandi, the Basavanna of Yaganti. We have come late. We are missing out a superb view of the temple and surroundings. Anyone coming here is advised to come in daytime. There are many stories about who built the temple. The most famous ones are the Agastya Muni building it and the Harihara Bukkaraya of Vijayanagara's empire building it. Agastya Muni is said to have started building this temple for God Vishnu, but Even before he could install the main statue of the deity Vishnu, the toenail of the Vishnu statue broke. Heartbroken by this incident, Agastya Muni is said to have penanced on the Lord Shiva. Shiva is said to have appeared in front of him and suggested Agastya Muni that to place Shiva and Parvati Sameta statue here, as it suits more towards Shivite or Shiva than Vishnu. So Agastya Muni is said to have installed Uma Maheshwara Rupa stone statue here. Here in Yaganti temple, Lord Shiva as Maheshwara and Goddess Parvati as Uma present on a single stone statue. In front of you, what you are seeing is the cave of the Venkateshwara, and nearby this cave, which is not visible right now, there is a cave of Pothaluri Veera Brahmendra Swami, where he did the penance and wrote his Kalagnana, the timely script. One of his timely scripts portion says that at the end of the Kali Yuga, the Nandi, the Mahanandi, which is in front of the Uma Maheshwara temple in the northeastern direction of the temple, will raise and come to life and go on a rampage. Why crows don't fly over Yaganti? There's a story for that. Once Agastya Muni is said to have been doing his penance, and the Asura, Kakasura, the king of the crows, have been tried to disturb the penance of Agastya Muni. Angered by this act of Kakasura, Agastya Muni put a spell on Kakasura that you or any of your subordinates or any crows cannot fly over Yaganti. So from then onwards, till date, none of the crows fly over Yaganti. Our trip of 2 days is almost done. We have covered Srisailam, Mahanandi and Yaganti. From here, we are heading back to Bangalore. If you're watching till now, we are glad that we provided you something which you liked to watch. To provide you more such videos and to support us, please hit that like button. And to take it further, you can even subscribe if you like. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next video.